Welcome to another edition of In the Zone. I am your host, Chris Broussard. It's a special edition right after Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Of course, Golden State took a 3-0 lead. Myself and Jason McIntyre will discuss that, as always, in Knockdown Jay. But first, I'm going to hit you with this top five. And with the Warriors up 3-0, as I said, on their way to a third championship in 4 years, that got a brother to thinking, what are the best five dynasties in NBA history? And yes, I am calling these Golden State Warriors a dynasty in the making. So I'm going to start at number 5 with these Golden State Warriors. I know some of you may think that's low, but look, they're only about to win their third championship in 4 years. There have been teams to do more throughout NBA history. This is an all-time great team, no doubt about it. Best backcourt in NBA history, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Yes, best backcourt, not just the best shooting backcourt, best backcourt overall. And they're the best shooting team of all time because you throw in the 7-footer Kevin Durant. This is a team that does it defensively, does it offensively. They've beaten the great, arguably greatest player of all time, LeBron James, 3 times in the finals. That's why they rank up there now as the 5th best dynasty in NBA history. At number 4, the Shaq Kobe Lakers. Gotta give it to them because they three-peated. This Golden State team has not done that. They reached the finals, Shaq and Kobe, 4 times in 5 years, losing once. They had 2 of the top 10 players of all time. And during that three-peat, when they beat Philadelphia, Indiana, and New Jersey, Shaquille O'Neal was arguably the most dominant force we've ever seen in NBA history. That's why they're number 4. At number 3, let's stay in Los Angeles and go with the Showtime Lakers of Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm going to also throw in my man James Worthy, and a 4th Hall of Famer was Jamal Wilkes. I could go on and on. Byron Scott. Norm Nixon was there for a piece, got a title. Michael Cooper. I mean, it go on and on. Bob McAdoo, another Hall of Famer, was there for a smidgen. They made 8 finals in 10 years. Think about that. 8 finals in 10 years. They won 5 of them. They beat Dr. J. They beat Larry Bird. They beat Isaiah Thomas in the NBA Finals. Showtime Lakers at number 3. At number 2, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls. I mean, need I say more? They had the GOAT, the greatest player of all time, MJ. They were the only team of this list, and I'll get to number 1, to never lose in the finals. 6-0 in the finals, 2 three-peats. I mean, they never got taken to 7 games. One of the greatest rebounders of all time for 3 of their titles, Dennis Rodman. Michael Jordan, I don't need to say more. Bulls number 2 on the list. Number 1. Bill Russell's Celtics. I know some of you want to make fun and say, oh, back in the 60s, I could have been a great back then. No, they were balling in the 60s, and none greater than Bill Russell. Look, he won 11 titles. 11 titles in 13 years. He was 11-1 in the finals. He beat Wilt Chamberlain 3 times to get to the finals. Beat Wilt again in the finals. Beat Jerry West, the logo, 6 times in the finals. And the logo had Elgin Baylor, the precursor to Julius Erving, to Michael Jordan, to Connie Hawkins, to Vince Carter, Kobe Bryant. All these high flyers we see now, Elgin Baylor, the precursor, they beat him 6 times too, playing next to Jerry West. Bill Russell with his cast of Hall of Famers, Bob Cousy and all that, they are the greatest dynasty in NBA history. All right, welcome to another segment of Knockdown Jay. My man, Jason McIntyre, in for another beating. Yeah. What you got for me, man?
Well, where should we start? Chris, you want to start Game 3? You want to start Brian Colangelo? I think we should start with your top 5, because I got a little beef with
You didn't like my top 5?
ranking the Warriors dynasty behind the Chicago Bulls.
They were way behind the Chicago Bulls.
Way.
I had Bulls 2 and
I mean, if you want to count teams from the
5.
50s when there was 11 teams, that's fine. That's
Actually,
your
it was
prerogative.
the Shaq, Kobe Lakers and Showtime Lakers. Was that the 50s?
Jeez, oh my gosh. I thought Celtics. I mean, you really put the Warriors that deep?
You're disrespecting the Shaq, Kobe Lakers?
No, they were good, but these Warriors would crush them. Anyways,
yes.
let's focus on
Who would have guarded Shaq? Draymond Green?
What would Shaq do in the pick and roll and the threes? Come on, let's stop. Let's go to the Warriors Bulls. Here's my quick argument for the Warriors, okay?
I'm contemplating
You
just
can't
kicking
throw
you
me
off
out of the zone
show.
every week, man.
All right,
Come on.
Come on.
So
All right.
they win 73 games in the regular season, most in NBA history. They win three. They're about to win.
Hold on, you can't stop there. How did that season end?
Well, the Draymond suspension in the finals, the Andrew Bogut injury, and they lost in 7. To
they lost.
The greatest or second greatest player, depending who you want to listen to at this network.
They lost,
LeBron.
though.
Okay.
They didn't. So I don't even know why that season comes up, other than to say
73 wins.
But it doesn't matter.
Oh my God, they were up 3-1.
It doesn't matter.
Anyways,
they were down 3-1 too to Oklahoma City.
When you
wanna bring that
go
up?
the following year with Kevin Durant, they 16-1 postseason. The only defeat, the only blemish, a game where Kyrie had 40 and the Cavs set every 3-point record in the history books in the finals. Then they come back this year. They get by what is considered by the advanced stats, the Rockets, the 65-win Rockets, as the greatest offensive team in NBA history. That's what the advanced stats say about this Rockets offense. They knock them off, and they're about to sweep Cowherd, Whitlock, second best player in NBA history is about to get broomed out of the finals. To me, that is an impressive 3 wins in 4 years. And Chris, this isn't ending anytime soon. Clay's 28,
hopefully not.
Draymond's 28, KD 29, Steph Curry 30. They could win 3 more in a row.
Could. Have they?
They will.
We deal with facts, not feelings.
Okay, so we'll stick with the 3 and 4. 3 and 4.
3 and 4. Okay, they've won 3. And you're saying they're better than the Bulls?
Well, the
as
Bulls
far
won
as
3 and
their
5.
dynasty is better than the Bulls.
The Bulls won 3 and 5.
No.
Yes, they did.
The Bulls won 6. 6. 6 is better than 3. In fact, it's double 3. Right. How in the world does a team that wins 3 rings in 4 years be a better dynasty than a team that won 6 in essentially 6 years?
I got a good idea. Why doesn't Curry and Durant just take a year and a half off and then come back and be refreshed for another run? Like that to me, Jordan taking that time off diminishes what they accomplished a little bit. A year and a half off, and I will say this.
In 6 years.
No, what the other 2 years don't matter?
No, they don't.
Oh,
because Michael Jordan wasn't there.
Yeah, just like Michael Jordan's years with the Wizards don't matter. Chris, let me ask you this. Did Michael Jordan's Bulls ever sweep anybody in the finals? Did they?
Who cares?
Oh.
Did they ever go 7? Did they ever lose? How about that?
It's fair.
How about forgetting number of games? Did they ever lose in the finals?
Well, I mean, if Scottie Pippen gets thrown out for some bogus technical foul and suspension.
It wasn't bogus. He kept his cool. Draymond didn't keep his cool. And the fact is, who knows? We don't know if they would have lost. So, they would have won or not.
McIntyre starts out 1-0.
There's no issue.
Curry, Durant, baby.
6 is double 3. I got the best player, Michael Jordan. My team never lost in the finals. Yours did.
Humor me for a second.
It's over.
Just humor me for a sec. How do the matchups go in that series? Just run through them quickly. Who guards Curry, Jordan, or
it could be
Kerr
any number of people.
Continue.
No, how about Ron Harper, who was a very good defender?
He was good.
He was very good.
All
defender.
NBA?
No, but he was a very good defender.
Very good.
Scottie Pippen is on Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
Michael Jordan's matched up with Klay Thompson.
Okay.
Look, come on. Dennis Rodman is on Draymond. Oh, God. I might put Rodman on Durant and muscle him. I'm not even arguing.
You mean just foul him and try to get under his skin.
I'm not even arguing that they're the better team. I'm saying which dynasty is better. Yeah. And I got one dynasty that won 6 titles in 6 years.
8
I got
years.
another dynasty. Well, I'll even give you 7 if you want to take Jordan's 17-game season and count it.
How come no one talks about Shaq and Penny
baseball.
Just beating their
Because he was playing baseball for a year and a half.
That's his fault.
But still,
right.
Anybody with a brain in their head knows 6 in 6 years
Broussard.
or 7 years is better than 3 and 4. Go ahead.
Let's move on to the next topic.
Bring something better.
Kevin
please.
Durant just dropped 43. Looked like the best player on the planet.
He was
in
last
Game 3.
night.
He was unbelievable.
No doubt.
My gosh, I'm gonna have to recreate that shot on Instagram just for the watchers out there. But I got to ask you, LeBron's a
Please
free
don't.
agent.
Please don't.
LeBron's a free agent. You know I've been riding the Lakers train hard. Kevin Durant can opt out.
Yeah.
People are speculating, well, why don't LeBron and Kevin Durant team up on the
Who's
Lakers?
speculating that?
You know, internet people, the Twitter trolls.
Is it out there?
Eggs. I mean, people are starting to write this.
I think people are just looking at it and saying, hey,
why not?
he could be free. Nobody's considering him. Yeah. Okay.
Personally, I think that would be an awful look for Kevin Durant.
So Durant and LeBron going to the Lakers.
Yeah, they would be dominant. I think they would probably take down the Warriors, depending on how the Warriors filled the Durant spot. I just think that's a bad look for KD. You just beat LeBron twice, badly. Okay? Durant, you won Finals MVP last year. He could win it again this year. I just don't see why Kevin Durant would leave this amazing situation in a game where Curry could go off. Next game, Clay goes off. There's no pressure on Durant. And you start stacking chips. I just don't see how LeBron and KD could ever team up with the Lakers.
I'm with you on this one. I think that'd be a bad look for both of them, actually.
For LeBron?
I definitely think it would be a bad look for KD. Because there are some, I've talked to players around the league and other people, fans, who are saying that, yeah, we understand how great KD is, but they're not as high on these rings because some feel like he took the easy way. I'm not saying I feel that way. I'm
Please
just saying.
tell, just for the record,
just let
looking
me
at the camera, do you think Kevin Durant took the easy way out?
No, I wouldn't say the easy way. I'll give him look. I have not ripped Durant for going to the Warriors. I won't start now, but you did go to a 73-win team. I mean, that had a championship. That's undeniable. So, but there are those that feel like he took the easy way out. If you went to the Lakers with LeBron, they would say the same thing if you won it, because you got the best player in the world. You got the two best players in the world. And if you stay with Golden State, it is essentially becoming his team. I've always said Steph Curry is the most important player on the team. Kevin Durant's the best player. Steph's the most important. But when the pushes come to shove, when their backs have been against the wall, when it's been time to close the deal the last 2 years, it has been Kevin Durant
let me stop
who
you
has
there, Chris.
done it. Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
And so in a lot of people's minds, this is a group that's going to be a team.
Yes.
Like Magic, Kareem, they're a team.
They were a team.
Argue over
Kobe
whose
and
team
Shaq,
it was.
I don't know that they were a team. There was
they were
always
a great
that
team,
but there was that tension.
It was probably
whose
Shaq's team,
is
but it was both. They were both
Kobe
so
wanted
close.
it.
They were both so close too, though, that you just look at the Shaq Kobe Lakers. So I'm not saying this is like, I just think if you had to say it's one person's team, it probably would be Durant.
But you don't have
if he
to
go,
say that.
I know. But my point is, he would get probably the lion's share of the credit. If you go play with LeBron, then a lot of people will say it's LeBron's team, and it may end up being his team. If you're LeBron, Kevin Durant, this is why I say it's a bad look for LeBron. Kevin Durant, as you said, he just smoked you twice in the finals, right? It looks like if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's a good look for either
I think
one
this
of
is
them.
why he left Oklahoma City. We're talking about whose team is it, Curry or Durant. I don't think they think like that in Golden State.
I don't think he cares.
They're a
Yeah,
unit.
I agree.
Curry does not need that. Russell
agree.
Westbrook needed that. He wanted the ball. He wanted the late shots. I think that's probably why Durant left for the Warriors, because they don't think like that.
I don't think it was about whose team it was, because it was clearly his team.
Well, he was the better player, but Westbrook was the point guard.
But people viewed it as Durant number one. But I agree with you. I don't think he or the Warriors care about whose team it is.
And that's why they're special. Now, I'll ask you, do the LeBron plus Durant Lakers, do they dominate the West? Whether it's Houston, Warriors?
I would pick them.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how you replace Kevin Durant, so.
I'm going to throw out a bonus knockdown, Jay segment.
Okay, it just so happens I'm ready for a bonus.
Well, because you brought up something interesting. You don't think Durant's a shoo-in for the MVP of the finals?
I don't think so.
Okay, go ahead. I think he is. I would have loved to have Steph won it. I think after the first two games, Steph was the favorite. But after last night, let's say they all three have pretty good games. In Game 4 and they win. Durant has to be the MVP.
Timeout. Okay, so let's talk through this. Game 1, Kevin Durant was bad. He had
what were his numbers?
Timeout. I think he was 8 for 22 shooting.
Can we get that?
He missed the J.R. Smith box out. Okay, he took a lot of bad shots late in regulation. Could have killed him.
I mean, did it?
Could have
Did it?
killed him.
Did it?
It didn't because J.R. Smith,
Doesn't matter.
LeBron.
So it's irrelevant.
He didn't have a good game. Curry had a better game than Durant in game one.
But
Slightly
was
better.
he spectacular?
He was not spectacular.
Okay.
Game two, Curry was spectacular. Set a
Yeah.
record with 9 threes.
Durant was really good, though.
Durant was very good. Game three,
Durant
Curry was awful.
phenomenal.
Durant was phenomenal.
10 for 14
So
in game 2.
He had like
He was
29, 8,
ridiculous.
9, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to come down to game four. And my guess
What did Curry do in game 3?
Curry was awful.
How many points did he have?
10?
You're not winning the Finals MVP with a 10-point game.
But that's the
Unless
recency.
it goes 7 and he's spectacular. In a 4-game series, you can't have
So
one bad game.
if Curry has
Horrible
35 in game 4.
Well, if he has 35 and Durant has 24.
Yeah.
Durant's
well,
MVP.
okay, that's possible. But remember, the media votes on this.
Durant's
You've been a
not
voter
going to
in the
have
past.
10 points.
Do you think the media is more likely to vote for Curry, a guy who's never won the Finals MVP and has been very good in the series, or Durant, who's been, he was not good in game 1. And then if Curry
He
cleans up
wasn't
in game 4.
nearly as bad as Steph was in game 3.
That's factual. But I don't think you're basing it on just game 3.
Because he was horrible. What did he shoot?
What?
Give me a stat. 2 for 15?
2 for 15. I think he had 10 points.
Now look, I'll give you this. If it goes 7, that's
It's
4
not
more
going
games.
7.
I'm just saying.
Right.
If you have a 10-point game, you need other games by which to make that 10-point game disappear. One game is not enough.
So you think automatically Durant's going to be the?
I mean, assuming Durant's not going to have 10 points. Durant has been the most consistent scorer on the Warriors throughout the playoffs. His lowest scoring game has been 22 points.
Yes.
In the whole playoffs. So he was great in game 2. He was phenomenal in game 3. He is head and shoulders above anyone else in the race for MVP.
Well,
now.
I think he's the leader, but I
By far.
refuse by his
10 points, 2 for 15. In a game, Durant had 43.
How many guys in the media vote for Finals MVP? Is it 15 guys? 10 guys?
I don't know what it is now. I remember times I voted in the past, it was like 11.
Do you think they would split the MVP? Curry and Durant?
I mean,
do they not do that?
It would just have to happen randomly, but I think they have an odd number of
Odd
voters.
number, okay.
I mean, it could happen if, because other guys could get a vote. Maybe some,
My
So-
guess is Durant in game 4 comes out, I want to get Curry the MVP. He's never been a Finals MVP. I think he feeds Curry and tries to get it for him. I don't think Durant's built like that, where he's like, I got to get
I get it. I don't think Durant cares. I don't think Curry cares, to be honest. I think they're just going to go out and play. But you can't go out in an NBA game, especially a finals game, and say, I want to get him the NBA. You just got to play.
Play, right.
You don't play with history like that. You better close out Cleveland and both play your best.
Clay drops 50 in game 4.
No.
No shot? It's Durant,
I mean,
okay.
Durant's not going to.
That's how this team is, though. You
I'll
don't
give
know.
you this. If Steph went out in game 4 and had 49 and is just lighting it up,
I don't know.
and Durant had 7.
Well, okay.
I mean, but
that's not
that's-
happening. That's not happening. All right,
that's
let's
my
go to the
point.
final
So is
topic.
Durant.
This is the hottest topic in
3-0 Broussard.
This is the hottest topic in the NBA today. The 76ers have parted ways with Brian Colangelo. We know the situation there in Philly has been ugly. We want to ask, did the 76ers do the right thing? Chris, the evidence now uncovered by the law firm is that his wife was behind the Twitter accounts, and they have found no evidence that Colangelo was involved. So when you hear that, is there any way that the Sixers should have said, well, listen, we got to keep Colangelo? I mean, did they do the right thing here?
I think they did. I feel bad for Brian, but I think they did the right thing. And look, I know I talk with my wife about stuff that goes on at work.
Yes, indeed.
I don't blame him for talking to his wife. I mean, you talk to your wife probably, but
there's a huge divide among the single people, the young single people who are like 25, and they're like, "Whoa, why would you tell your wife this stuff, guys?"
Exactly.
When you get married, you share everything with your wife,
and you
not
don't
every
even
single
do
thing.
it out of obligation. You just that's your
That's
wife.
your partner in life.
If you can't
Yeah.
talk to her or she can't talk to you about what's going on at work, then why are you married?
Yeah,
You so I don't blame him for talking about that stuff with his wife. It's unfortunate that she went out and tweeted
They're
it.
probably sitting in bed, hanging out at the dinner table. He sees the Meek Mill Joel Embiid video, and he's like, "What the heck is my guy
exactly.
doing while shirtless, man? Come on!"
And I don't blame.
That's understandable.
Exactly.
But
I
at the
mean,
same time, I would agree with you. You've got to let go.
Yeah,
you can't bring him back.
because now the trust is broken.
Totally.
And now if you're a player for the Sixers, if you're an agent dealing with the Sixers, if you're an executive, whatever, and you're talking to Brian Colangelo, in the back of your mind, there are two doubts. One, what I'm sharing with him, is it going to stay here? Because, they know too. Your wife, you just talked to your wife.
Yeah.
So does she tweet it out? Number two, even though they didn't find evidence, don't tell me everybody's sitting there thinking, oh, Brian didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Some people still probably think he had
was
something
involved.
to do with it.
Yeah, he looked the other way, right?
And you just don't know. So I think for that reason, unfortunately, you had to do it. I'll say this. I bet you he lands somewhere else. Not this year or next year.
Like in a consultant role or actual?
Jerry Colangelo, his
Yes.
dad, is one of the most powerful guys in the NBA.
Right.
And in basketball in general.
That's
And
a
so I
tough
could
sell on your
see-
fan base, Chris. Hey, by the way,
give
the
it a
Markelle
few-
Fultz trade is still out
No,
there.
that
This
was a
could
bad
be
trade, yeah.
a Greg Oden, Kevin Durant type deal when you factor in a trade. So I
give it a few.
Fans didn't like that guy.
I agree. But give it a few years, couple years. I might be wrong, but I think.
Let me
in
ask you
some
this.
way
This
he'll
is one of the
resurface.
best jobs out there. This is better than any head coaching job that exists in the NBA that's available. You're going to inherit two top 15 players in the league in Simmons and Embiid. Your thoughts on the David Griffin possibly getting the job to bring in LeBron? Would that work?
LeBron and his, brain trust. They obviously like David Griffin. They got along well with him in Cleveland. Now, would David Griffin get LeBron? Like, is it if you hire David Griffin, is it automatic? No.
No. LeBron ain't going to be like, hey, Dave, let's work
exactly. It's
together.
not he's going to follow him. But David Griffin would certainly be a GM that LeBron would respect and have no problem with. They're in position to handpick whoever they want.
I mean, you could have big names out there, somebody from the Celtics, the Spurs, maybe even the Warriors front office who's like, that's a great job. I'll
and
jump in on
also
that.
it's like Rich Paul, who's the agent for LeBron James and Ben Simmons, is very close with Philadelphia ownership. So I don't know. It depends on what LeBron and them are going to want. Are they going to want to handpick a GM? Does LeBron even want to go to Philadelphia? All that has to factor in. But if you're Philadelphia, you do your due diligence. You find out how serious he is about Philadelphia, what it will take to get him. And I'm going to be honest. If it would take him handpicking the GM, look.
It's not like he hasn't handpicked a coach before.
They haven't won a title since 1983.
Woo.
And I will say this, LeBron and, remember, Ben is a protege of LeBron's. Rich Paul is the agent for Ben Simmons.
Right.
They're not going to do something that is just selfish for them.
Right.
They're going to also look out for the best interest of Ben Simmons. Honestly, what I think needs to happen in Philly, too, is LeBron and Ben Simmons, and if Rich Paul wants to be there, fine, they need to have a heart-to-heart. Honestly.
LeBron and Ben Simmons?
Yes, because
that's why I don't think it's going to work.
it has to be like, how is LeBron going to play?
We saw this with Kyrie in Cleveland.
Yeah, but
LeBron come back, and it's like it's LeBron's teams, and Kyrie's like, you drafted me to be the guy. And it broke down over three
But
years.
Kyrie shouldn't have been the guy. LeBron's the guy.
Yes,
Okay,
but
there's
these young guys,
this was the issue.
number one overall picks.
Kyrie's not stupid. He knew LeBron was the guy, okay? Anybody that gets on the court with LeBron is going to see he's the guy. The issue, there were many issues, but one was that Kyrie was a point guard, and a point guard who wanted to handle the ball. And that is the issue. Whereas, let's say LeBron handled it, 60 to 70% of the time with Kyrie, 60%, whatever. With Ben Simmons, it should be about 10%.
Well, Kyrie
10
can
to
play off the ball. He
20%.
can make threes.
Exactly. Ben can't.
He can't do nothing.
And they have to have this heart-to-heart. Not only, okay, are you willing to go off the ball, but do you really think you can? You've been playing on the ball, LeBron, not since you entered the NBA,
tough,
since
Chris.
you began playing basketball. And they have to honestly have that, because it will hurt LeBron too. It wouldn't just hurt Ben if LeBron has the ball. Ben Simmons is not going to help your team if he's off the ball
that's a great
most
point.
of the time. He can occasionally. He can post. And this last thing I'll say, and then you can go. It will help LeBron at his age it would conserve energy if he's off the ball. If he's at the elbows, sometimes in the post, on the wing, moving sometimes without the ball, that's a lot less pressure.
This is where I miscalculated Houston. I did not think Chris Paul and James Harden would work. James Harden had just become the point guard, was like top 3 in assists. But James Harden had been a shooting guard before. Chris Paul can play off the ball and make shots, and it worked in Houston.
We didn't know Chris could do that.
I know, it was like, wow. So the Sixers made the right decision essentially here, getting rid of Colangelo. I think we're in agreement here.
Yeah,
so we'll go with a 2-1-1 scorecard.
No,
here.
we'll go with a 4-0.
We agreed on one. How could that be a victory for you? Come on.
Because it's my show. Knock down Jay, my man Jason McIntyre. As always, go to Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, iTunes. Download the pod. Give us 5 stars. Leave a comment if you like what you've been hearing.